So as the phrase goes, everybody's got to start somewhere. You know, picking up any activity, whether it's a sport, a hobby, a lifestyle, you don't just pick it up right away and become an instant professional. It oftentimes takes learning, takes experience, and it takes a heck of a lot of time to truly get good at anything. And bass fishing, whether you are interacting with it as a sport or a hobby, it takes a lot of time to get to know the intricacies of the sport to truly catch more fish.
Give me some of that.
But what if right now you at home don't want to be great at bass fishing, you just want to be good? You want to be good enough so that when you go out, you stop getting skunked, you stop catching nothing, and you start being good enough to catch a few bass. How do you do that? In this video today, I'm going to explain to you guys why you may be potentially fishing what I'm going to be calling blind. And of course, my goal is to help you finally see. My name's Tyler, and let's talk about it. Well, how's it going, folks? Welcome back to TRF. My goal right here on this channel is to help you guys become better bass anglers and catch more fish. And so if that's what you want to do, hit that subscribe button because you are welcome here. Now, before we hop into the video, I want to say that the Bass for Beckers giveaway is back. So if you want to win a brand new $80,000 bass boat and during the month of April, potentially a chance for an all expenses paid fishing trip with me, we'll fly you to Texas. Make sure you guys check out the charity raffle. It'll be down below in the video description. Bass for Beckers is an awesome foundation that I've worked with over the past few years that raises money for muscular dystrophy research and to send kids with MD to a special MD camp so they can feel valued and loved. I'm trying to raise $50,000 plus this month. And of course, if you buy your raffle ticket within this month, not only are you entered to win an $80,000 fully rigged out Skeeter bass boat, brand new boat, you're also entered into winning an all expenses paid trip with me. So if you guys have any cash, one raffle ticket, 10 raffle tickets, whatever you can do, click that link below. It would mean a whole lot to me for us to raise a whole lot of money. So what do I mean by fishing blind? I'm sure the thumbnail and the title got you intrigued and probably confused and maybe a few of you laughing, and that was the entire point. What I mean by fishing blind is that in bass fishing, there are a certain number of key statistics and factors to understand about the sport that if you don't understand them, you're not made aware of those statistics, you're gonna go out there fishing, quote unquote, blind and not having the most success you can have. And so today, we're gonna talk about the two main ways that I think people fish blind and thus don't catch the amount of fish they could. So the first thing you need to understand about bass fishing is that there are seasons, not just the 4 seasons we have as humans, spring, summer, fall, and winter. Bass have about twice as many seasons. And all of those seasons have an effect on bass's movement and behavior. Almost all of them follow the rules of the book. And if you don't know the rules, you don't know how the seasons affect bass, you are gonna be fishing blind and we don't want that. And so let's go over a general overview of what the seasons of bass fishing look like. I'm gonna have my phone out because we have a ton of information to cover and I don't wanna mess any of it up. And so in the springtime is the best time of the year to catch fish, and you're gonna see that over the next few weeks here on my channel. In the springtime, bass move shallow to feed and to spawn, getting more active all day. In the summer, bass move deeper to chill out from the heat, coming up shallow early and late in the day to feed. In the fall, fish move shallower as a whole, again to feed up for, you guessed it, the winter, where fish stay relatively deep and don't move or feed a whole lot. And so that is the general yearly cycle of bass, of course, with those 4 human seasons kind of being split in half, creating 8 or so bass seasons. Now, if you want to increase your chances of catching fish and not fishing blind, you must understand this. This is not a suggestion, this is a necessity. If you want to become a better bass angler, you've got to understand what the seasons do to bass. It's not even negotiable. As I travel around the country fishing in a ton of states, I see probably 100 or so anglers physically with my eyes fishing both from a boat and from the bank, fishing the wrong lures in the wrong places at the wrong times simply because they don't understand how the seasons affect bass. I can't overstate this. It's so crucial. And so here's one example. I was fishing a pre-spawn to spawn time period in Oklahoma last year. My favorite thing to do that time of the year is drag a soft plastic creature bait or a jig very, very slowly in shallow water for fish that are close to spawning or are spawning themselves. The water temperature during that time of the year is usually high 50s to mid 60s. Those bass are not super aggressive yet. You may get one to come up and eat a very slow moving popper or a slow moving popping frog, but for the most part, those bass don't want to come up and hit top water just because they're not ready for that yet. The season dictates that the fish are not ready. And so as I was catching them moving down this dock line, keeping my boat a little bit far out and casting into shallow water, dragging very, very slowly, I saw somebody, a kid, probably, I don't know, 13 to 16 years old. I guess he might have been 16 because he had a driver's license. He parked his Jeep, he took his rod out of his Jeep, and then walked down to the bank to fish kind of the opposite direction I was fishing. I was going down the bank line this way. He saw that I was going that way, and so he decided to go this way. And I thought, well, he might catch some fish because maybe I was casting a creature bait this way, dragging it out to deep water. Maybe he'll throw his lure into deep and bring it back into shallow and catch some fish that I missed. And then I saw what lure he was throwing, and I knew immediately he wasn't gonna catch squat. He was throwing a buzzbait in high 50-degree water on a slick, calm day by making big, heaving casts out into the middle of the lake and bringing it back to shallow water very, very quickly. That right there is the definition of fishing blind. Fish during these conditions and this time of the year are, for the most part, like I said, there can be outliers, but for the most part, are nowhere near ready to hit a buzzbait, especially in the places he was throwing it, out in deep water. I don't even know if bass bite a buzzbait in deep water ever. And for sure, the water temperature and the movement of the bass did not dictate a buzzbait during that time of the year. I know because of all the years that I spent in bass fishing, and I knew because I knew how they were biting that day. Bass during that time of the year and during those conditions are nowhere even close to being ready to hit a buzzbait, especially where he was throwing it, and like I said, what time of the year, the water temperature. The fish just were not ready. That is fishing blind. Now, I could sit here all day and explain the intricacies of the bass fishing seasons, but of course, there's a ton of nuance to that and a ton to learn that I can't even sit here and describe all of. But a good buddy of mine, Tyler Berger from Bass Fishing HQ, made a great video about the bass seasons. I will leave that linked in the video description for y'all to check out. If I don't have a video that covers a topic really well, I know some of my friends on YouTube do, and so I will never hesitate to give you guys a better video to watch. And like I said, that is linked down there if you want to learn more. And one last thing that will help you quicken your learning curve when it comes to understanding the bass seasons is the Bass Forecast app. Bass Forecast is an app that I've worked with over the past few years, and it's so incredible because the algorithm alerts you days in advance to let you know the fishing could be good in your area. And when you get inside the app, it'll tell you what lures to throw, where to throw them, what the season is, and has all of that, including the cylinder tables, right in one cohesive package right in front of you. If you struggle to understand the seasons and don't know, I live in Missouri, it's May, I don't know if they're pre-spawn or if they're still spawning, or maybe it's already summertime, the app using AccuWeather data will help you understand those seasons better, and of course, will stop you from fishing a buzzbait when the bass are just beginning to spawn. And as always, y'all can download that using the link in the video description below. Please, whenever I mention a tackle or an app or anything like that, make sure you guys click those links because it helps me out a ton. But I say, moving on from the first point of not fishing blind, understanding the seasons, we got to talk about point number 2, which is a lot more specific, and that is, you gotta wear polarized sunglasses as an angler. And no, I'm not saying wear these things for the safety of your eyeballs when it comes to lures flying back at your face. That can be an advantage. But I'm talking about the benefits a polarized lens provides to your physical eyes when you're looking in the water. This right here is the most obvious example of somebody who's fishing blind. When you can't see what's in the water, you are at a severe disadvantage to every other angler, no matter where you fish. If you're a bank angler, a kayak angler, bass boat, flats on saltwater, if you don't have a good pair of polarized sunglasses, you're fishing blind. For a lot of you guys watching this video, this is a total no-brainer. You guys can feel free to skip to the timestamp right here, where you'll see a ton of awesome fish catches from the bank during bed fishing season. But for those of you guys who do not know what the advantages of polarized sunglasses are, what a polarizer does is it eliminates glare and of course increases visibility through water. Now, if you're fishing in super dirty water, I'm talking about like less than a foot visibility, I'm talking mud water, polarized sunglasses really aren't gonna help you that much. But if it's any clearer than 1 foot visibility, polarized sunglasses will help you tremendously. So by putting these things on, it takes the blinders off and you're able to see, especially if it's spawning season, physical bass making nests. Where you take these off, you couldn't see those. With these things on, you can see grass lines, you can see stumps, you can see any kind of underwater structure and cover that you might have missed if you didn't have these things on. And trust me, just like adding live scope to my boat helped me see structure down there that of course, even with sunglasses, I would have no clue was there. If you're fishing without polarized sunglasses, especially as a bank angler in the spring and summer, man oh man, are you missing out. The bass are making their nests right now all over the banks in North Texas when I'm filming this video. And so without these, I would be totally casting and fishing blind by just hoping there's fish in this area. And oftentimes there's so much muck and slime around the banks of these ponds right now because of the rising air temperatures and rising water temperatures, that if my lure lands anywhere that's not around the fish's bed, it's going to get bogged down, it's going to get slimed. And so because I have these on, I know the good open places to cast my lures that give me a better chance, or a 100% chance of catching fish or being around a fish, such as one on a bed. Polarized sunglasses are not just helpful, they are a necessity. And so let me tell you guys about one more story that I've already seen maybe half a dozen times just in the few times that I've gone fishing, and that is people fishing blind without this, without even a hat, during the springtime. A picture that you're gonna see on the screen right now is somebody that I came across when I was bed fishing in the second half of this video. So once I finish this talking portion, we're gonna go to this exact pond right now, and you're gonna see me catch fish, not fishing blind, using this pair of sunglasses. But back to the picture, you see that guy right there. He is making several different mistakes. One, he fully doesn't understand the seasons because he's making a big wind-up cast way out into the middle of the pond where, again, there could be a few bass hanging out there, but for the most part, bass are up shallow, either preparing to spawn, spawning, or finishing up the spawn. And so if he understood the seasons, he wouldn't be wasting his time making a long cast like that. And if it was a long cast, he would angle his body to make it more parallel towards shallower water, so his bait is in the strike zone for longer. So that's number one way that that guy out there is fishing blind. Number two is that he doesn't have either I think his hat is backwards in that picture, and he doesn't have sunglasses on. So he has nothing to block the glare on the water, and he has nothing to block the sun from interfering with his eyesight. And there was literally fish spawning. I didn't get to fish for him because they were kind of finicky, but there was fish spawning at his feet where he is casting over, and I can't tell you how many times I've seen that. Like I said, half a dozen or a dozen times of people that are totally fishing blind this spring. It honestly is kind of maddening because I don't want you guys to fish blind out there, and there's so many, what I'm guessing is beginner anglers, and maybe he's even a good angler, but because he doesn't have the right knowledge and the right equipment on his eyes, he is fishing totally blind. I don't want you to be that guy. So that right there are the two ways that I think you guys can eliminate fishing blind: understanding the seasons and wearing polarized sunglasses. One kind of metaphorical and one actually physically applicable. Now, like I said, we have some awesome fish catches. Make sure y'all donate to the Bass for Beckers Foundation. Again, if you missed the April giveaway for the trip with me, you can still be entered into any other awesome monthly giveaway. It could be trips with crappie guides, it could be power pole anchors, it could be a lot of different things that you guys can win, as well as the brand new Skeeter bass boat. It is definitely a cause worth donating to. With that said, I'll hop on the water and catch some fish, not blind. We have found ourselves a few bed fish. An older version of me would have gone right down the bank, casting out into the middle, throwing a chatterbait or whatever. But now I know this is the time of the year that bass could be up shallow, they could be spawning, and guess what? They are, and I can see them because I'm not fishing blind. See if he can't stand the old spot remover with the white craw, huh? That doesn't work. Dang it, this fish won't eat. Gotta come back to this boy, I think. Come on, be a first flipper. Be a first flipper. I found another one. Oh, he spit it out, and oh, dang it. He did the old suck in, spit back out thing with the claws. You just gotta wait for them to get the whole thing in their mouth. There we go. Oh no, dang it. All right, see you, buddy. I caught you, it counted. All right, we're gonna flip in there. Again, back away from the bank, because with my sunglasses on, I can see farther. Got him. There we go. Had to switch to a small fish off to the side. Oh gosh, dang it. He flung my worm out in the middle. Well, someone else will eat that, sadly. Thank you, my friend, for eating and keeping me occupied while the big one over here doesn't seem like chowing. Give me one more chance. Got him, finally. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my gosh. You, my friend, took me a while. Beautiful fish, though. Very, very protective male. And I think he's got two females that are trying to both pair with him at the same time. So I'm just gonna keep him out of the water for 1 second here, see if one of them picks up the bed. I don't think she is, though. Let's see if this female wants to play now. Well, sometimes that's a sneaky trick, and sometimes it's not. Got him. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Got myself another one. Let's go. Biggest one of the day so far. This is a finicky one that I couldn't get to bite when I first walked by like an hour ago. She changed moods and I got her. Awesome. 3-pounder right there. Again, all of these fish, with the exception of like that bed right there, I would totally miss if I didn't have sunglasses on. Like that fish right there, I couldn't have seen that fish around the corner, tucked up in a shade line. Nuh-uh. Stop being blind, folks. Got him. Got him. Got him, got him, got him. Bring it up in here. Let's go. Absolutely gorgeous little guy right there. Or little girl. It's the spawn. Don't want to misgender. Trigger the woke. Well, that is all the shallow, easy to catch fish that we have here. Let's try for that big one for a few more minutes and then head somewhere else. Maybe tomorrow. All right, boys and girls, one more pond, and I see 2 bedfish that, again, I would have just looked at this grass slat here and maybe thrown a frog over it or even stood too close to it. But instead, I see in there, way in there, a little white spot because of my glasses. Here we go. Eat it. Eat it. You are nosed down on it and got it. Yes. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. What a stinking fish to finish it out on. Boom, baby. Spot remover. White craw. This time it's the Menace. Usually use the Rage Craw, but I ran out. Beautiful 3-pound bedfish. See ya, Mr. Fish. And that, folks, is going to do it. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to check out a very similar video to this one that I think you guys are going to love, click up here in this corner. Y'all can watch that video. And by doing that, it would help out the channel a ton. I appreciate it. We'll see y'all next time.